Imagine you're with your girlfriend, laying one to another, love heart in your eyes and all that jazz. You both decide to watch some Lord of the Rings. A romantic evening, as you do. You see these beautiful opening scenes with Gandalf not being late at all, Frodo doing some productive work, and Bilbo eagerly waiting for some more visitors, well-wishers and distant relations.
And what about very old friends?
Gandalf enters Bilbo's baggin and... Did you know that Ian McKellen actually bumped his head into the log? And the whole crew found it hilarious, so they left it in? Your lady turns her head and looks you in the eyes with the awe written all over her face. You're onto something. You watch some more, see the hobbits leave, and then walk and walk and walk some more, and then some more and more. Frodo leaves, fights happen, and... Oh, here, in this scene, Viggo actually had to deflect the knife. It was unscripted. Tension rises, you can see her breathing heavily, but the game's not over. First movie's out, they are taking the hobbit to Isengard and so on, and then... Honey, did you know that in this scene, Viggo Mortensen broke his toe? Ah yes, you're the light to be around. Everyone loves to have their show interrupted every 12 minutes for another fun fact. Nerd! So, just to help you up your game, here are 3 lore-based facts that you can use next time you treat yourself to some Lords of the Rings marathon. So without further ado... Imagine. You're an elf that lives in Valinor, which is basically heaven. You're surrounded by your kin and living gods who can bend reality to their will. Life is good, and you thrive and prosper. There are outlets for your creativity in a form of poetry, playing music, and craftsmanship. There's also work to be done, and out of all the ways you can become useful, you choose smithing, both grand and fine. Among all the things, you create nails and metal supports which are essential for constructioning gorgeous white houses of your brothers and sisters. Also, ornament that you have immaculately crafted adorn necks and palms of your loved ones. Every year, one of the gods, Manwë, holds a high feast in the celebration of the creator of Arda and all known universe, Eru Ilúvatar, or Eru Ilúvatar, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that, to be honest. You and your folks get the invite and go party. You lose yourself in celebrations. But then, out of nowhere, a shadow unveils, piercing through the laughter and dance. It is something unheard of in Valinor, the place of eternal light. You gather your friends and run back to the city, only to witness the enemy of your people, Morgoth, with a spider of unholy proportions by his side. With its poisonous fangs, the beast bites into the trees of light and sucks life out of them. This 8-legged monstrosity is known as Ungoliant, the wielder of Unlight. By the way, this title is made up. Unlight was her weapon, but there was no title and such thing, so I just made it up for like dramatic purposes and such. Yeah, anyway, back to the video. Ungoliant is the first of giant spiders of Arda, and an accomplice of Melkor, also known as Morgoth. She gave birth to many offsprings, of whom Shelob is the most well-known one. You've seen this extremely biologically accurate spider show its stinger to Frodo in Return of the King. Fate of Ungoliant is unknown, although it is believed that she, in her all-consuming hunger, feasted on her own flesh, alas ridding herself of her only desire. She is believed to be the creature of the void, created by the emptiness, and so to the emptiness she fell. So yeah, now you know. One's ambition can be a great weapon, but it also can bring the downfall for its wielder and all that they align with. World of Tolkien is much broader than one might realize from the movies, especially the original trilogy. Middle-earth is just a tip of the iceberg, a very wide and well-established tip, but a tip nonetheless. In Silmarilion, we're getting acquainted with the story behind the elves. We're presented with many names, like really a lot of names, and various tribes. The second biggest of those tribes is known as Noldors. They are also presented as the most individualistic, giving birth to the most amount of heroes, leaders and such. They were residing in Valinor, living among gods known as Maya and Valar. Life in Valinor was fruitful to elves. They were able to create and learn as much as they wanted. And as they indeed were curious creatures, they've used this opportunity to thrive and create great society. They dabbled in poetry, music, sculpturing, painting and other forms of art. They were beautiful and wise. The greatness of one elf was determined through their beauty, skill in the craft of their choice, or other linguistic capabilities. There was one thing missing though, the career path for the ambitious ones. If you were a son of someone established, you seem to have much easier start in hierarchy of their social structure. It's not that if you were some dude you weren't able to make it. You surely got your shot, but there was no land to rule over, so your prospects were a bit limited. Anyway, long story short, Melkor, who is Sauron's boss, told Fëanor, which is one of the greatest of elves,
Kind of a big deal.
that Valar, living gods, want to trap elves in Valinor to rule over them and keep Arda, which is Earth, to themselves. Obviously, it was a lie. Fëanor said something like, Sina nume uria, and decided to skedaddle. He left the Valinor in rather brutal fashion. His deeds include, but are not limited to, rallying Noldors to betray Valar, stealing boats from Teleri, other branch of elves, killing vast numbers of Teleri,
Pentakill.
stealing them boats again from his own people, setting them boats on fire so that the rest of his people won't be able to use them, and more. At one point throughout his shenanigans, Valar known as Mandos appeared and urged them to stop what they were doing, come back and beg for forgiveness. Fëanor didn't feel that, so Mandos made a prophecy which practically banned Noldors, which took part in boat-stealing, kinslaying activity, from coming back to Valinor. As you may guess by now, one of the people who fell under the effects of the prophecy was none other than Galadriel herself. Listen, I skipped a bunch of very important stuff when it comes to the escaping the Valinor saga, so please just be advised, alright? Thank you. So there's one part why she couldn't just come back to Valinor, but remember what she said in the movie?
I pass the test. I will diminish and go into the west and remain Galadriel.
Even in Years of Trees, she always desired power, greatness, and to rule over her own domain. That need was brought upon her by Melkor himself. To quote Tolkien, when he saw his chances, he saw a seed of lies and hints of evil among all who were open to his converse. Bitterly did the people of Noldor atone for their folly in the days to come. Coming often among them, he would speak ever words of greatest price, sweet but poisoned honey. For amid all the fair words, all that were ever subtly woven, visions he would conjure in their hearts of the mighty realms they might have ruled over at their own will, in power and freedom in the east. And then he would whisper to any that leaned towards him that the gods had brought the Eldar to the Valinor because of their jealousy. Galadriel at heart was proud and ambitious. Said desire made her believe that she has more to do in the Middle-earth, so even when the prophecy of Mandos was lifted, she declined the offer to go back to Valinor. She believed herself to be capable of more. More power, more people, more land, and so on. That was her life for around 7,000 years, and she grew to understand that it sucks.
Disappointed!
When the opportunity to speedrun her strength presented itself in the form of a ring offered to her freely on tiny hobbit hand, she refused it. By that, she accepted her place as Galadriel and won against her own pride and ambition, and was finally able to rest in Valinor. You shall not pass! One of the most iconic scenes of Lord of the Rings. Pretty short one, fortunately for the pacing of the movie, but unfortunately for the nuance to be conveyed. You see, I was talking previously about living gods known as Valar and Maya. And they are the original children of Eru Ilúvatar, collectively known as Ainur, whereas Maya specifically are lesser Ainur. Some of them were mortal flesh the same way people wear clothes, but some of them are cast into mortal forms, capable of coming back obviously, as seen in Two Towers.
Gandalf the White. Gandalf the Fool. Sick burn, bro!
Although they must be sent back by Eru Ilúvatar himself. Olurin was one of those mortal Maiar. He was embodied as a elderly chap, big grey beard, pointy hat, later known as Mithrandir or Incaus or Tharakun or Greyholm, All Greybeard, the Grey Pilgrim, oh my god, so many names, the Wandering Wizard, like, okay, Tolkien really loved his names, okay? And then there's this guy. He, same as Gandalf, is Maiar. Yeah, they are related the same way you and I are. Also, one more thing about this Balrog lad right here, he is not special. Like, this one is called Durin's Bane, but generally speaking there are more of them. To paraphrase Tolkien, no less than 3, but not more than 7. Balrogs are Maiar who fell for Morgoth's lies and joined up with him in his cause, and that caused them to look like this and become frightened of water and being general meanie. Also, this fight here, it took 10 days, and it was Balrog running from the Gandalf, not the other way around, okay? So yeah, that's about it. I hope I filled some blanks regarding the issue, and now you can show them the meaning of cool. You can find all the sources in the description. There's one particular site that is very interesting to me, and it is eldamo.org. It has like very comprehensive library of all the words and rules of grammar of Quenya and Sindarin and other languages that are present throughout the Middle-earth and all the Tolkien works. And as we know, Tolkien first made the language and then decided to, well, it needs a story. So yeah, it's a good place when you are interested in the fundamentals or even in the roots of where it all started and such. Anyway, thank you for your time. Bye now. His deeds include, but are not limited to, rallying nobles,